What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon GO Battle League content. In today's video, we're taking a look at a shoutcast featuring Dubwool Double Ghost, Dubwool, in the Holiday Cup with my boy Skeledirge and Sableye on the safe swap. Let's get right into these battles, take a look at how this team functions in the Holiday Cup. Have a feeling it's probably pretty strong because, you know, Skeledirge is pretty busted in this meta, let's be honest. Getting a really nice lead here in the first game with the Dunsparce. Opponent swaps into Jellicent and Dusclops, I hope I said that right, I apologize if I didn't. Swaps straight into the Sableye here, not bothering to really stay in with the Dubwool. You could have potentially maybe like stayed and get some energy and then swap in Sableye, but Sableye does prefer to have the even advantage of energy here. Opponent just lets it go though and wants to come in with their Dunsparce to get a healthy farm down here. Unfortunate timing here as we throw on alignment, but Dunsparce is getting all the energy it needs here to hopefully carry itself into another matchup, but it's going to have to throw something at some point. Throwing the foul play as soon as we get it here just to make sure we get the damage off. Nothing wrong with that as foul play lands, but dude, this Dunsparce might just farm down. Are we gonna get to the move? No, we're not. Excuse me. The Dubwool comes back in and now is gonna have to eat probably at least two or three drill runs before the opponent's Dunsparce is gonna be done with the energy that it's got. Opponent throws moves back to back here in order to get as much damage in as they can, and then they immediately swap straight into their Gligar here, going for the payback, launching the nuke, hoping to get some additional damage, hoping the opponent doesn't shield. Payback lands, takes out half of the Gligar's HP, and now it's time for Skeledirge to go to work. The opponent does have a lot of extra energy here, but we call the Aerial Ace bait, which is massive, saving that second shield. Now you're going to be just shielding Aerial Aces, but that's fine. The opponent what? Huh? Yeah, I think I would too. Oh my goodness. Good game, I guess, yeah? So what happened there was the opponent was probably trying to get to double digs, and they weren't able to do it, and then because they couldn't, they just forfeited. So opponent has a spicy double shadow so far. We've got Magnezone, and then they swap in a Dusclops. This is some spice, and the opponent's Dusclops is Shadow. Now, because Dusclops is Ghost type, it's weak to that dark typing of Payback. So going for a bait here, not sure if I like it because, yeah, the opponent can simply tank the Payback if they want to. And perhaps maybe they're fine enough with the Dubwool being lined up on this that they're fine with it. So it's hard to say, but I would never really recommend going for a double resisted bait unless you know you can land it. Now, unfortunately, kaboom! I don't have my button ready, so we're gonna have to deal with manual off the rip Felrose kabooms here. In comes the Magnezone. Now the opponent has a Froslass in the back and Skeledirge. Boy, oh boy, my buddy Skeledirge, you're sitting back there weeping tears of joy as you're gonna get to see your best friend Froslass melt. Now, Mirror Shot gonna not get a shield here, saving 2 shields for the Skeledirge as the play. The opponent is cripplingly weak to it, unfortunately for them. Dusclops would have been their only answers. Magnezone goes down. Opponent trying to save a shield for the Froslass, but they do throw the energy here. I think the opponent probably would have wanted to try and farm down, but it's really risky to do that because Sableye just gets to move so quick with this, but it's a good game. Skeledirge scared him away. Getting into the next battle here, we're going to have our, I almost said Skeledirge, Dubwool against another Dunsparce. Man, this is what happens to me when I run Dunsparce, is I find all the Vigoroth Dubwool leads and things that I just can't deal with. And then we have a Charge Bug come in. Skeledirge looking pretty good here. Could come in and roast this bug into next week. And not looking like we're staying in here to absorb some energy potentially. And then maybe we swap in Skeledirge? I don't know. We're going to find out though. So your discharge is going to do some damage here to the Dubwool. And we're going to see them go for the body slam here with good timing. You want to go for 1. And then the moving the 3-turn versus 4-turn scenario. And then coming in with Sableye, perhaps the trainer's making a read that Skeledirge will be effective against whatever's in the back and deciding to stay, keep it hidden away in the back. So definitely I like that tactic. Hopefully the read turns out to be a good one here as we see what the opponent's going to do. They're going to come back in with the Dunsparce. And at this point, it's really just going to come down to what's in the back. And honestly, I don't know, because it could be a Vigoroth, it could be an Altaria, it could be anything back there. The opponent's Dunsparce is going to fire off a move here. Dubwool's still doing pretty good. It's pretty healthy. Opponent goes for the Rock Slide, which turns into a misplay, unfortunately. If you don't know, Drill Run does do slightly more damage than Rock Slide in neutral situations. So it actually is better to go for the Drill Run for more damage, unless they were intentionally trying to leave the Sableye with 1 HP. But when the Sableye has a move, that is a very, very dangerous thing to do here. So we want to see Skeledirge get to these disarming voices and gonna shield up the Sky Attack. I think we just kind of see everything get shielded here at this point. Just need to get to back-to-back disarming voices. The trainer is farming up some energy here, and we are gonna see a shield come up from the Altaria. Dubwool is still in the back, easily could save the shield at this point and let the Dirge go down, but gonna shield up, and you can just go for the disarming voice here. This is gonna be pretty close to a good game, depending on what the opponent does with that Dunsparce. Dunsparce is gonna come back in. Now, is their Drill Run gonna be enough? Are they gonna throw in a Rock Slide? Rock Slide, Drill Run, it's Drill Run, but this time we do see the Dubwool also live with 1 HP. This is a game of 1 HP in a dream scenarios right here. Now Skeledirge comes in, and I do believe they have the back-to-back voice, but going for an undercharge here, hoping for 1 extra Incinerate. Is it going to be worth it? Yes, they're going to get to the move, and it wasn't back-to-back, but it was after that Incinerate. Disarming Voice is going to come through and take out this Altaria. That is going to be a good game here. Very well played. It was very well done. Getting into the next game here, we've got Froslass on the lead versus the Dubwool. Now, Dubwool does okay here. It needs to land a payback. So there's 2 better answers in the back. I honestly think that it might have been a better move here to try and swap into Sableye straight away. But gonna absorb the triple axle on... Oh my goodness, they're one of the people running triple axle. I don't know, man. I can't get behind triple axle Froslass. Like, I get the reason why you'd want to do it, but now that they're boosted, right? Like, anything, you have to shield it all now. Like, right? Like, there's no reason. Like, this might as well just be an avalanche at this point. Triple axle gonna come in, and then the opponent swaps in their fish. Well, this is a good place to see the lantern. Definitely like to get this out of the way so Skeledirge doesn't have to see it later on in the match. So opponent gonna let that move go through, and then we're gonna see them go for more. Oh my goodness, this fish is getting fat. It's loaded with energy. Sableye gonna eat this Thunderbolt and get to a foul play before going down. I mean, very nice play here, leaving themselves with no HP just about in case the opponent's lantern goes down, and they do. So Froslass gets almost no farm, and I imagine Skeledirge just comes in and just melts this thing now. Waiting out the switch timer here. It could be a good play. No, we're coming back in with the Dubwool, going for the payback here, seeing if the opponent wants to give up their final shield in order to save their Froslass. Payback nukes the Froslass, and in comes Skeledirge onto a Shadow Credilli. Very interesting ping in the back here. I'm not really sure how this matchup goes. I know that Rock Slide does a ton of damage as I've been playing it. I've been playing regular Credilli this week, but the Skeledirge's damage and energy gains are huge. Calling a potential bait here, or just saying, you know what? It's fine. I don't need to live this move because Dubwool's in the back and could go for another payback. But we're going to see the Disarming Voice come through and almost KO. Unfortunately, the Dubwool, well, okay. All right, good game. I guess the opponent just stopped. What should have happened was the Bullet Seed would have KO'd, I think, before the Skeledirge's Incinerate went through. And if that Credilli had a move loaded, they might have actually been able to win that game. So never really worth, just giving in like that. But opponent starts off with a Shadow Girafarig, and then we're going to see an Altaria safe swap coming. And after getting a bunch of energy, the Altaria is going to have to choose whether it wants to shield a payback or not. Opponent does not go for the shield here, going for the body slam. Typically, I know that payback is a harder hitting single move, but the overwhelming spam of body slams is typically going to be a more beneficial thing to go for in this matchup, I think. I could be wrong. But Sableye comes in, and now you have to wonder if you're going to fire off a Moonblast. The opponent full sends the Moonblast. With the increased energy that Sky Attack is... the increased energy that Sky Attack costs now, ever since the nerf a couple seasons ago, it just makes more sense to throw the Moonblast. Now, what I don't like here is that the trainer threw their foul play right away. Always best to go for some fast moves just to get yourself adjusted in case you see a Skeledirge, you want to go for 2 Shadow Claws. Now, you see in this particular case, trainer thankfully gets to the move, but they could have got to that move much sooner before the Girafarig was able to swap it and catch the move. So we're going to see now Skeledirge mirror as the opponent Skeledirge pops in here, and it's just whether you bait or not. That's it. Shadow Ball full set, one shot, kaboom! One shots it, and we're going for the double resisted body slam, and I don't think I like this move here. Have to go for the payback. You got to full send that payback. Body slam is not nearly going to be enough here, unfortunately, but somehow we get to the body slam on that new mechanic 1 turn before the Incinerate registers. That happens very inconsistently. Going to be enough and take that game. Man, that's calling it close there. Getting into the next game, we got Drifblim on the lead. Haven't seen one of those in this. Actually, we have seen one or two, but Drifblim has a decent matchup here because of the payback, but Drifblim is going to be able, or Dubwool has a decent matchup because of the payback, but Drifblim is going to be able to get to a debuff move beforehand and lower the attack. Now, this is a very good situation for Dubwool because they swapped ingredient. Now, I don't think that there's really a good thing to swap in this matchup because, like you see, opponent just goes for crunch. They've got the mud shots. This is just not a good matchup for the Skeledirge. Green being a very awkward save swap for this team, apparently. You're just kind of hoping that you can do some damage to it and Dubwool can come back in without that debuff and be able to start to just, you know, farm up some energy, get ready for the next matchup, and we hope Sableye can sweep in the back with shields, but we'll have to see what the opponent's running in the back here. Not able to farm up too much more energy because they're close to being capped, so throwing this body slam, and then probably going to go for a farm down afterwards within one double kick range here, but unfortunately the Greedent has a move loaded and is able to throw the body slam here before going down. Now we're going to see the Drifblim come back in. That payback is locked and loaded, ready to go, and Sableye is also back there with a pretty good type advantage here in this, in this matchup, but we're going to see Dubwool go and reach for that payback here, putting up a shield to do so. Mystical Fire is going to lower the attack of the Dubwool, but the payback is locked and loaded, and the opponent has a Dunsparce in the back, and unfortunately, just not looking like a good matchup for Sableye. Now, I could be wrong. The opponent could make a wrong call, and this whole matchup could get flipped, but foul play, not going to do enough damage to even put it within range of another foul play taking out. And Dunsparce can just overload on energy. So a catch or something will be necessary to win this game. Let's see how the trainer, decides to handle the situation. Throwing on CMP here. Thankfully, the Dunsparce did CMP tie here, but it's a very risky play to be throwing on CMP in most cases because you don't want to leave yourself open to having a whole move like a rollout sneak in and just be able to take you out. Now, in comes the Dubwool here, going for the payback. I'm not sure if double body slam was the way here, but unfortunately, because of the fact that the Drifblim has almost all of its HP still, I believe, it's going to be very difficult for Dubwool to be able to take it out. But it's going to go in here, and then the opponent comes back in with the Drifblim. The only hope they have is the opponent not getting two moves. So unfortunately, that's going to be a good game here. The Dubwool's going to go down to the Mystical Fire, and that's a good one. Good game. Getting into the next battle here, we're going to have Dubwool on the lead versus a Dewgong, a positive lead because of the fighting fast move of the Dubwool, and the body slams coming out much quicker than those icy winds will. Going for the body slam on 4, not knowing who wins CMP here, but going for the safe bet that the Dubwool goes for the body slam and potentially could have even thrown a wild charge there. The opponent not really respecting wild charge, and most people really aren't running it anyway. So that's going to be completely fair. Probably well done to the opponent there for just kind of calling that there's no wild charge on the Dubwool. Now they go for the payback now after the opponent, after they get the debuff, then they go for the shield. So now Sableye swaps in, gets debuffed unfortunately, and the opponent now is going to swap in an Ivysaur with, it's Vine Whip, right? Okay. For a second, I thought I saw Razor Leaf, and I was about to scream, but I'm not going to scream after we do that. But the return lands, and that is going to be huge for the Sableye in this matchup. Being able to put down no shields in this matchup either. Skeledirge could certainly come in and get to a nice little farm here. And I think that might be the play, because that makes a lot of sense. You want to make sure you can farm down, get the energy on Skeledirge, right? So there's the Skeledirge, comes in, gets that farm down. The increased Incinerate damage from the new season buff here makes it really easy for Skeledirge to get those farm downs super effective situations. Opponent throwing their charge move immediately on alignment, giving an entire Incinerate for free to the Skeledirge. That will certainly be the undoing of this trainer here. Dubwool comes in, gets the Dewgong to throw their move. Honestly, all that needs to happen here is no shield, let Skeledirge farm down, and double disarming voice is going to be enough to do some damage to this Obstagoon. And even then, even if it wasn't, the Incinerate damage that comes afterwards would certainly be enough. So here we go. Going to easily be able to just farm down at this point, and that's going to be a good game, well played. Skeledirge just absolutely busted, dude. Imagine a ghost type taking out a dark type. It's crazy. But then we have another good lead here. Opponent comes in with a Vigoroth. Sableye comes in now. I don't know how I feel about this matchup now because Rock Slide makes this much more awkward. I think that maybe for Dubwool, it would have been better for the trainer to possibly just throw Just go for the body slam, get the chip damage, and then go for the foul plays. Swap in, you know, come in with the because you can see one body slam probably would have been enough to KO after that foul play. So now it just makes it awkward. The trainer has to let this go, but they do have double foul play, so the opponent will have to be the first one to put a shield down on this matchup. Dubwool could come in, potentially farm down, go for that now body slam, or even Skeledirge could come in and farm all the way down with a shield. So we'll see what the trainer decides to do. They come in with the Skeledirge. Name of the game with Skeledirge teams is always how do you get the energy on the Skeledirge? And whenever you can start loading up Skeledirge, it starts to steamroll itself very nicely. And I'm not going to be the first one to say this, but I'm going to say it very, very obvious here. I don't love Skeledirge because of it being, you know, winning a regional, or I think it's just really neat, but also at the same time, it's really good, right? Because even though it's clunky with Incinerate, it really has that ability to just overcome almost all of its hardest answers with the energy that it has, or with the charge moves that it has. All you have to do is get the energy, and it's good. Now, in comes the Dubwool to soak the charge move. The opponent throws it right away. Trainers, you want to work on that move timing. Throw those 2 sparks. If there's going to be an Incinerate user, it's not worth it. Abomasnow is going to come into this negative matchup now. Dubwool has quite a bit of an energy lead. Abomasnow going to have to go to... By the time this thing goes down, the Dubwool will have gotten this Abomasnow well within range of 1 Incinerate. It's well within range of less than half of an Incinerate now. The opponent has to go for a move. All the energy from the Abomasnow is resisted. Skeledirge easily farms down, and I do believe that it was okay, or it goes okay. I think the opponent may have undercharged there, trying to get another fast move through, but able to take it out. Good game. Nicely done. Alrighty, let's get into the next game here. We've got Dubwool versus another Dunsparce lead. That's going to be fine here, as we've seen. This is a good matchup. A Dubwool comes in immediately, and Skeledirge jumps out of its Pokeball, saying, "Hello, sheepy. It's time you met your maker." So Dubwool is going to fake a payback, call in the body slam, and gets it. No shield is huge. Now Disarming Voice is going to start adding up along with those Incinerates. Incinerate is just absolutely insane. I think it actually is where it needs to be. Given that it's a 5-turn move, I think that just having that extra raw damage for the fact that it's so slow and clunky, making Incinerate the best damage per energy move in the game it's fine because of how clunky and long it is, and it's very easy to time your moves around if you have if you have any idea how to time your moves correctly. So this might be like a triple normal team perhaps. Opponent comes back in with their Dunsparce now, as this is a better matchup for the Dunsparce. Going straight for the Disarming Voice though, I totally respect getting the damage off, but when it comes to that, okay, opponent coming in with a Palosand after we swap immediately out to preserve the Skeledirge, seeing some value. Now we're going for the body slam bait, and this is what I'm saying. I don't like the body slam bait. Just go for the payback, and then you can start baiting with the body slams afterwards, or just go for payback. Baiting, in my opinion, that was a very risky bait. Maybe because they had 2 shields, it does make sense, but I certainly wouldn't be doing it again, as the opponent may not shield this one thinking they can tank it, and that's it. So now we've effectively wasted a whole 9 turns of energy for really no return. I would certainly not... it's just me as a player, right? You've got Skeledirge, you've got Sableye in the back, which is very positive in this matchup because of the Shadow Claw and the foul play. It's just go for the guaranteed damage of the shield, right? Make the opponent be the one to make the decision, and don't let them take advantage of a coin toss, right? That's kind of my take on the bait thing, But going for that foul play here, trying to get rid of this Dunsparce before it can do any more damage. Skeledirge is in the back. Skeledirge might have... I don't remember if it has a move loaded or not, but now we have to see if this is... the opponent is throwing their energy. Skeledirge is going to swap in. No, it does not have a move. And I don't think Skeledirge is getting to a move. Oh, he was on the 4th cycle. Let's go, dude. Getting that Disarming Voice in is huge. Now it's a matter of, does the Skeledirge get to a move before the opponent's Palosand gets to a move? We're going to see Disarming Voice come out before they get to the Scorching Sands. This is going to seal the deal for this matchup and take the game. Well played. Getting into the next battle here, we have our Dubwool in a finale against an Altaria. Not a very positive matchup here for Dubwool, but you can't really swap anything in here as both ghost types don't really have positive play against Altaria. Skeletor's Incinerates are resisted, although it does have the disarming voice, so maybe at some point we come in and we get an energy lead here. But the Sableye taking that super effective damage from the Moonblast, also not a risk that's very fun to take. So gonna go for the body slam spam here, and then see if the opponent's going to put down a shield in this matchup at all. I think Sableye probably is going to want to come in here at some point, saving a body slam for later on the Dubwool. Like that play a lot. Sableye is going to have to shield up a move here, as even a Sky Attack would do plenty of damage. Moonblast is what gets full sent, and then we see Lantern come in. This is very risky. This team does not have a super strong check to Lantern, but Sableye is going to toss this return, full send that move. Return, going to get the shield. Oh, it feels so bad. You never think that they're going to shield it, but then they do. Its Surf is going to be able to do a lot of damage, but the Sableye will be able to get to a foul play, trying to aim for the return, but unfortunately not going to be able to get there. Definitely would have expected to want to go for that move there, but with the extra energy here, Skeletor is going to come in looking to swap and catch the move, but unfortunately with the timing, Skeletor is not going to be able to get the move caught on there because the opponent just saw it coming. They were going to go straight for that energy, building up to the double surf here. Now the opponent comes in with an Altaria here, and now we can max out on energy because the Altaria threw all its energy and dipped, and now all we got to do is see the disarming voice go off against Altaria. Opponent's going to go down to this and then just go for the Shadow Ball, and that's going to be the game here. Wait, no! So what? Huh? How? All right, hold on. We got to take a look at this. I got to take a look at this. Hold on. All right, let's take a look. All right, so real quick, okay? The Lantern comes in. Oh, you know what happened? The trainer waited, unfortunately, just a half second too long to tap that Shadow Ball. Lantern had already come in and the trainer had tapped the move, and that registered too late. So Lantern didn't win CMP. Unfortunately, it's just that Skeletor wasn't able to register the Shadow Ball. In that situation, it's totally okay to mash that button, dude. I would be smashing that button. I might put a hole in my screen. But anyway, yeah, unfortunately, that should have been a win. It might have been. I don't know. Shadow Ball would have been very close. Feel like there was a lot of points in that game where the play could have been a lot cleaner. But overall, very close game, very well done, despite the really difficult matchups with Altaria and with Lantern. Those were very difficult to come through, and opponent made a very good shield call as well. So that's going to do it for this video, though, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you've enjoyed the Holiday Cup more than I have, because I really haven't enjoyed it too much until I started using Skeletor. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.